And we're live. Hi. Good evening. Good evening. Super excited to have you here. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Beyond Bootcamp. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Omalade Akinwumi, and I'm a DevOps engineer. Really passionate about helping people to build really practical and sustainable careers in DevOps and cloud, and not just doing tutorials and collecting certificates. So today we are going to be talking about finding your footing in DevOps right now. And this particular conversation is for anybody that has started learning DevOps, cloud, Linux, Git, or any other DevOps tools, Kubernetes, CI/CD, and the likes. But then you are still wondering, what exactly should I focus on? Am I learning the right things? How do I move from learning into real confidence and career progress? So we've all been on that journey. We still are in that journey. You're not alone, and a lot of people are in that in between stage, and they are no longer complete beginners, but yet they feel like they are not fully confident or job ready, and that's exactly what we are going to be talking about today. So before we go on, I would appreciate if you've joined, just say hello, hi, and where you're joining from. And yeah, we joined a bit late today, so I'm just going to introduce our speaker for the day. Um, so with us today is an amazing guest, Mohammed, and he's a DevOps engineer at Beam, and he brings extreme value and real world experience from working in a very large organization. And today is going to help us go beyond just theory and actually talk honestly about what DevOps journey looks like, what the gaps are, what people need to understand, what is day to day DevOps work actually involve. And yeah, I'm so excited to have Muhammad here with us. So to kick it off, could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh, okay. Thank you for having me. Okay, so my name is Mohammed Nematullah Khan. Currently, I'm working as a DevOps engineer at me. So, if I talk about my background, like I have graduated from FAST Karachi, one of the biggest universities in Pakistan in computer science. In I didn't started like as a DevOps engineer as my career. So initially, I have started development. Like I have worked on multiple development projects. I have learned things by documenting, by reading articles on mediums, and watching tutorials, and then applying on my personal projects. Then I have joined after graduation. I have joined Basis Labs, a fintech company where they are providing a solution to Togo and Tanzania in East Africa region. So I will be mainly handling their Kubernetes infrastructure and their cloud providers. And then I moved towards Veeam, the global disaster recovery and organization that helps you recover your data there, that helps uh, securing your data. Like it has been recently acquired security AI, so we have been actively working with them also. So yeah, so that's pretty much about me. So would love to have a conversation further.
Okay, amazing. So we have a lot of questions lined up for you, and
Yeah,
you are
sure.
in for lots of back-to-back questions from us today. So firstly, I would like to hear your thoughts. So people hear the title DevOps engineer a lot, and they don't necessarily understand what the work or what the practice itself looks like. So what does it look like to you on a day to day? How did you even get into DevOps before we go into that?
Okay. So thank you. If I talk about my journey, I just started learning as in my first semester of my university. I have started learning C and C++. Then I uh, make a strong grip on one language. Like I have get a strong grip on C and C++, and then I have moved toward the web development and development. Because at that time the development is very at high peak. So initially I have learned that, and then once I have been learning new things, then I have transitioned into Dockerization, Jenkins, these kinds of tools. So when I try these tools, I love that. Like when I'm creating my final year project also. So I very inspired that. So I like to discuss about the things like how the SDLC is working and how these are also working. So this is how I wanna start. Then I started learning DevOps. Am I audible?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for walking us through that. Really appreciate it. So what does working as a DevOps engineer at Veeam, what does it look like?
Okay, if I talk about my day-to-day activities, like how my day start at the team. So I initially started looking at the emails and the Slack messages that the every day at 2 p.m. At 2 a.m. Pakistani times, uh, d- we have the been deploying on the productions. Like we just automate the whole workflow, so the whole pipelines and the infrastructure is running at that night schedule. And when I just joined at the morning, so I just check that everything is work fine. If there are any failures, so I will check that and then troubleshoot and fix that. And then we have the daily stand up where we will be discussing about what are the blockers that we are going to face, and that how we are be executing. Then we will discuss about what is working and what is not, and what we are gonna ship on the next sprint. So we discuss about that, and then we have been working on multiple tickets, like handling the Terraform configuration, and then setting up the VPC infrastructure on the cloud, AWS, GCP. And then we will also be looking into the developers, QA, and platform engineering team to actively if they are any facing any issue, so we will helping them also. So this is kind of routine, like helping them continuously working on our tasks, and then uh, you know communicating and updating with the members also.
Okay, amazing. So you actually really said a lot of things that you do, helping QA, creating
Yeah.
VPCs, infrastructure, making use of Terraform, and all the likes, right? But we'd really appreciate it if you could probably properly break down one for us, like a typical day of solving problem as a DevOps engineer in a large organization, right? So you have shown us that yes, DevOps is not just sitting down with numerous tools, we are actually communicating with other teams as well, right? We are making use of
Yeah.
several tools, so that, and I think it's very helpful for people that are also listening to be able to get like a proper view of exactly how you solve problems and in your organization, a large organization for that matter.
Yeah. Okay. So if I just start from the basic, whenever you have like I have given an example, like first suppose we have a module that we have been completed, or development is completed. Then the next step is what we should have to dockerize that module, so that it can run on every environment. It can run on your machine, it can run on your Ubuntu server, Linux server, so anywhere it can run. Once you have packaged the application, then you have to also deploy that application to your server. Like it can be your EC2 server, it can be your AWS Lambda, it can be any your server on which your infrastructure is running. So next step is writing your Jenkins, like you writing your CI/CD steps. So initially, previously, what you are doing is you will be manually deploying that module to that server. So this is not the good practice in DevOps. So what we are doing is we are continuously automating the CI/CD pipeline. Next, for the CI, you can use the Jenkins. For the CD, you can use Spinnaker, which is widely used in our organization as well. And then once you have the deployed once you have the deployed that application, then comes the hand. Like you have dockerize the application, then you have to package that application also, so it can be a bundle, so it can run on any Kubernetes environment. So then you will be also handling the Kubernetes structure, like it can be multi-cluster and it can be multiple namespace. If I talk about real world practices, you will be only given the restricted access, like you have been only given a namespace particular, so you have to work on it. So you have to smartly check what access you have, what resources you can create. So you have to work on that. Or and it is very much learning material for the beginners. So you have to work on an environment which is very restricted. So you try different things, you encounter many errors, and you learn from them. So then once you have deployed the application on Kubernetes or any server, then you have to also continuously monitor that application. For that, you can use the Grafana for the dashboard and Prometheus for the matrices. And also, if you want good logging, good alerts, then you can also integrate EFK. You can also use EFK, Elastic Log Stash Kibana, or ELK, Elastic Log Stash, and Filebeat. So you can use any particular both. These are also working fine. And then comes the Argo CD part. Like you have completed deployment, you have all the deployments running, then you also have to track that also, like previously what version of the helm is running. If you have to roll back, so what you are going to do if there are sudden spikes, so what you are going to do. So these kind of question, then you will all be also integrating ROCD. So if I just summarize, so you don't have to learn all of these tools, because tools are evolving, like it's changing. Like if you like I consider I suggest people that you have to just focus on the skills, like basic foundation, like simple dockerizing any application, and how to write a basic CI/CD pipeline. Then the AI era is also evolving. We all been using Claude, ChatGPT. So if your foundation is strong, then you can learn any language, any DevOps cycle. So yeah, the DevOps is just not about the tools; it's a practice. Like how we are helping developers and the operation team. So our SDLC lifecycle is smooth and error free. So that's pretty much about.
All right, that's like so amazing. I feel like I've learned so much in just this question that you were able to answer, and you've answered a lot more of my questions,
Yeah.
right? And I also particularly like the fact that you mentioned AI. But before I go there, you walked us through from the process of um, creating or building the tools that you make use of, Jenkins, Spinnaker. I feel like those are tools that a lot of people are not well, they are using it, but they mostly use more of GitHub and Argo CD now. Yeah, but hearing Jenkins and Spinnaker is like, yes, that's OG, because I remember making use heavily on those tools earlier in my career. And Kubernetes, Prometheus, and Grafana, for metrics, matrices, Argo CD for the deployment. Those are basically examples of tools that we come across during the life cycle, or more of the life software life cycle. But the real foundation is understanding that there are principles behind these applications. When you want to package an application, when you want to do any form of automation or deployment or observability, there are so many tools out there. So you don't want to like beat yourself up that, oh, I don't know this tool, I don't know this one. Like the fact that you even mentioned what is Pinnacle, what did you just say right now? They're like, I don't even know about it. Like a lot of people will start feeling bad because they already don't know what Spinnaker is. But the point is you have to just understand the foundation. You have to be very solid, have a very solid foundation, and you know what it means to troubleshoot, what it means to talk about access control, because you also mentioned about permissions and all, and what it means to have a very safe rollback. This should take some form of pressure off people that are currently watching, and basically start from the basics, learn how to containerize your applications, understand a simple CI/CD pipeline, be able to deploy, monitor. If you encounter errors, don't be scared, because I remember that when I started, it was a big deal for me. When I see any red lines like this, I'm always like, oh my god, what have I done wrong again? Right? But just being able to calm down and know that, okay, yes, you have to just understand what the error is saying, and then be able to troubleshoot, and then document, which is also really important, what you have
Yeah.
learned during that process. Yeah. So basically, this is really just very useful reminders for a lot of us that feel like we want to just swarm ourselves with so much tools. So particularly AI, what would you say is your how would you say you make use of AI for automation, AI automation, and the likes? How would you say you incorporate AI in the work that you do today?
Okay, so as everyone is using AI, the market is very spreading, and uh, the use of AI is not a good option. Like the many companies blindly use AI. Like if you don't have the basic knowledge, like you don't know what you are doing, and you just completed your work. So this is the mistake. So at least the whatever the question you are asking from the any chat GPT or Claude or AI, you also have a clear understanding like what you are gonna build. So once it writes, ask a close question like why you go give this approach, why don't other suggest your approach also. Like it the it explicitly mentioned that AI can mistakes. So you just trust blindly. So use of AI is very good if you have the knowledge, like if you have the great understanding of the solid foundation in DevOps. Like if I talk about the DevOps, like the if I seriously talk about like 60 to 70% DevOps is debugging. You will be working on the logs, you will be resolving the troubleshooting issues, and the 20 to 30% is the automation that you guys are doing. So
Right.
the understanding is the key. So yeah, use of AI is very good if you have the good knowledge, and you know what you are doing. So this is the question that I have also suggest to my juniors also, that use AI, but also work on your basic skills.
No, perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you very much for summing that up. Um, so okay, I'm going to get back to the questions in the chat later. Okay. So okay, yeah, let's just take a pause right there and then actually just answer what question we have right now. So we have a question from B2Man. Let me put it here. And he asks that if somebody knows how to make use of one CI tool like Jenkins, do they also need to familiarize themselves with others like GitHub Actions? Would you like to answer that?
Okay, okay. So no, like once you have the clear understanding, like you have the good understanding of Jenkins, you know what are the stages, what are you gonna build in these stages. Then just the syntax changes. As in the programming, you have the different language, you have the multiple language. If you have the solid foundation in one language, you can pick any language. You in you know 1 to 2 hours you can easily get comfortable on it. Same like the on DevOps is also like if you are good have the good understanding of the Jenkins, what are the stages, what are the pre-requests, what are the post requests, what steps you are gonna have the in Jenkins build, so you all can implement same on the GitHub action. So no, there is no need for learning GitHub Action as well. If your company requires, do learn. If you are comfortable with Jenkins, then you can easily grasp GitHub Action also. I hope
Oh,
you
okay,
answer.
okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. So for a number of us that are also software engineers, like we understand that once we know one particular or the syntax of one language, doesn't mean you cannot use another stack, right? Because you already know what you want to do, you know how you will get it with the stack that you're very familiar with. It's just like, okay, you're in a new environment. If you were in your previous environment, what would you do? What would you click to get what you want? So understanding that means that, okay, in this new environment, what are the rules that you have to play by in this new environment? Just like the way they say AWS, GCP, Azure, they are they are cloud services. Like they basically do the same
Multiple.
thing, but they
Yeah.
call it different names, right? For example, we have EKS, AKS, GKE, and the like. So they just have different names, instances, compute engine, right? They are the same thing, but different names in different
Yeah.
platforms, right? So once you understand one, it's quite easy to do it or replicate it across others. Even in Jenkins, you know that, okay, what you want to do is you want this to move from this place to this place. You want it to be continually integrated, right? You know that you have understanding of GitHub. Okay, so now you're in a Jenkins environment. How can I make that possible? You just need to know, okay, what are the right would I say commands or prompts that would make this particular platform that I am on to be able to give me what I want, because you know what you want anyway. So yeah, I think I hope that actually summarizes and answers your question well. So yeah, now back to our questions, and one question that has been coming up a lot, right? Which is around how people can come out of being just theory based and be hands on. You know, a lot of us, we do a lot of tutorials, like that's like our bread and tea, right? Every day we're like, oh, I completed this tutorial, I completed this tutorial. But most times we tend to forget that tutorials are more or less like there's this thing they call it like control environment. So everything is supposed to work a certain way in tutorials. But in real world, it's sort of different, because it might be you don't have one permission and then you are seeing this error like, no, I didn't see this error when I was doing my tutorial. What's going on here? And you just don't know that it is a permissions issue and you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. So how do people go from theory to hands-on?
Okay, so this is a good question. So I love to answer. Like for the practical scenarios, I would suggest everyone that you should have the uh, Linux at least on your laptop, on your PC, or your machine. So because Linux is the foundation at the in the DevOps. So once you have the Linux, then you can learn by reading other articles on Medium. You can use Substack, and you also use the official documentation. Then came the labs part. So for the labs, you have the multiple uh, free labs of the Linux. Like if I call recall like over the wire, and then we have the code cloud, the Linux, and then we have the multiple sandbox environment. So once you read any article or any watch any tutorial, you should have to apply at least one single time with your own hands. Like just you just watch and you think that I have learned that. No, once you start hands-on, like doing any labs, they will give you a task. So your understanding the requirements develop. You apply that approach. So it's kind of good practice. So I have just give you an example of Linux. Then for the Kubernetes, you have also set up the uh, multiple cluster, like you can use the mini cube, you can use the kind for the learning Kubernetes. So there are multiple tutorials or installation guide you can have on the GitHub readme, and then we have the Substack, so you can pick filter them out also. And for the scenarios part, like how you have the restricted environment. So on the that specific thing, I have done multiple labs on code cloud, so they give you a restricted environment. So you only have been given the restricted namespace, so you have to work on that. So you can try that also. And one important thing that I would like to say is practice is the key. You did not get comfortable on any tool by day one. You will be encountering multiple issues when you are building the projects, or uh, trying out multiple things. So you have to be just be curious. Like you have to be curious. You have a passion for learning, and then you can grasp any knowledge, any tutorial. So this will be a very fruitful for you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Like lots of points that you have. Like you're just dropping points, like back to back. I am very excited that you actually started with saying start with Linux. I feel like if you want to go into DevOps engineering, the you just have to know Linux because that's literally where we live.
Yeah.
That's what we do on a regular. So you can't say, okay, I'm a DevOps engineer, you're trying to run away from Linux. No, you're always in the terminal or the command line, you're in one cluster trying to troubleshoot, maybe, you're trying to connect. So you have to sort of know all of those commands. You have to be comfortable with Linux. And so you also mentioned Code Cloud. I have a very soft spot for that particular platform because in fact, nah, because I sort of made use of it a lot, and it was one of the things that made me to get very comfortable with Linux and the command line because it gives you what's it called, like a sandbox environment that you can do any form of practice that you want in. You can spin up whatever, you can do tasks. So I feel like if you want to do something, there are even free sandboxes, free tasks, free DevOps for that are present on Code Cloud. So I really truly recommend. This is not an advertisement, by the way, but I truly recommend if you want to get better at DevOps or make use of the command line and the like. So yeah, please check out Code Cloud. And I think I'm also going to use this period also to debut of advertisement for what I do. So I recently started a community, right? And we have had a number of people join that community. In fact, I am shocked. And cheers to everybody. Thank you for being very active. Thank you for being engaging. I've learned so much. Like it's just you think that you know stuff, but then when you gather a number of people together in the same space, and then they start talking about what their likes are, what they are working on, you get to see that, oh wow, there's actually so much out there that I am not really privy to because of the fact that I'm probably focused on one thing at this time. So yeah, that I if you want to join the community, kindly let me know. And obviously, there's also a paid mentorship with me and you know some other folks that can really help and guide you in your DevOps journey, right? So, thank you very much. On to our next question. What is there? Is there a common mistake that aspiring DevOps engineers should avoid? Do you think there? What common mistake do you think that aspiring DevOps engineers should avoid?
Okay, so for that, I would suggest that do not go for tools like the any tool that you have heard that this is the is very spendy on the market. Then you just learn that tool. No, you have to learn the background knowledge about that tool, like why this tool is developed. So you have to get comfortable on that background knowledge first. It's a foundation.
Yeah,
Like I have explained, if you know what is Jenkins, then you know that it is used for the continuous integration, and it is used for CI/CD. And then you have the GitHub action that is also currently working and expanding. So you know that the one tool is evolving, and then in the future you will see multiple tools also. So I just recommend that focus on the skills, and if you think that this is the good tool, and you have the and try that tool. If this is good for your work, for your organization, implement that and do practice that. Second thing that I would like to highlight is that uh, Linux and Git is very important. Like we take it lightly that the Git is very just Git add, Git commit, and then this is just the DevOps. No, in DevOps you will be encountering many conflict issues. You will be working with the different environment, different branches. Then you will also have a good understanding of Git. So if I personally give you my experience that I when I joined Beam, so I think that the basic Git or the advanced Git is will be enough for me. But when I work with the large organization, large teams, there are multiple of branches in one day. Then will also have to carry you will
yeah.
also have to create PRs. Then you will also have to take care of other branches do not conflict. So this is the small practice, but will be very useful in large organization. So the basics will take you further, and so this is the second, and the third is like focus on just the foundation. Like do not go just blindly the tutorials. Do not follow that. Understand what are the requirements, what you are going to learn, then ask questions from ChatGPT or AI. AI is your friend. AI is your tutor. Ask a good question with her or with him. So you will be get comfortable. So you don't need to switch multiple tutorials, because there are many tutorials. You will be confused like which is best. So pick whatever suits you. Like if you good grasp knowledge by watching tutorials, do that. If you grasp knowledge by reading the articles, by documentation, then go for it. Pick according to your. So just don't compare with yourself with others.
Amazing. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Still the same thing, the basics. Don't go away from the basics. Don't go away from the basics because there needs to be something that you need to build up on. You need to have strong roots in Git, Linux. Like, I feel like forever, as long as you're working with the team, you are going to have to be working with Git, right? And so that means that you need to know a lot of the commands, how to use them, when to use them, right? And you can't know everything at once, right? You just need to practice very, very often, from time to time, as often as you can. If you see a project, try to jump on it because you know that you're actually working on yourself. You're working to get better. And this is not just for beginners, this also applies to those of us that have gone a bit higher in our career, because we all know that we can't run from it. So we have to be able to sit down and fully understand what exactly how exactly things work under the hood. Because as you grow, you know that you have to still go back to first principles. You have to still go back to, okay, why is this thing doing this thing this way? Why are they using this thing like this? Why is this thing being used? Right? And I've been also exposed to open source. I've gotten to understand the importance of reading documentations on a particular project or a particular platform. Right? It's very important so that you can get proper context. Because if you are explaining to somebody, or if you're teaching somebody something, it's because you have proper context and proper understanding of that thing. That's why you are then able to pass knowledge easily. And it's not just people that are in higher cadre or the seniors that should be able to pass down knowledge. Even if you're very junior, but just because you know, nobody's going to take it from you. Nobody's going to take away what you know from you. So yeah, that is what that's some very valuable thing that I think that I have also taken from that, right? So I would like to know, there are so many tools, there are so many certifications, there are AI assisted operations, cloud native tools, platform engineering conversations. There's a lot of noise, right? And it's not like all of them are not important. They are all serving their important roles, right? But what should a learner decide what to learn next? Like, what is essential and what is just noise?
Okay, so I will just break down with the initial steps, like for the where I will consider that everyone is a beginner. So you should have to start with the Linux. Once you are comfortable with the Linux, then you can pick any language. You can pick C, you can pick Python, you can pick Go, any language that you are being comfortable and have good understanding of that. Then come the development part. You have the basic knowledge of development, like what is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, just a basic understanding. Then come the Dockerization part. For that, you can use Docker, which is a very good tool. For you can use that. And then come the CI/CD part. For that, you can for the beginners, I would recommend Jenkins. It's very user friendly and very good for the beginners. It covers a lot of scenarios, email, notifications, Slacks. So there are multiple kind of scenarios. So Jenkins is recommended for CI/CD. And then come the deployment part. For deployment part, for the beginners, I would recommend you should have a basic understanding of Kubernetes. What are the ports? What are the deployments? How stateful sets are different from the deployments? Basic networking skills. So this is a good practice for the beginners. Once you have the good understanding of Kubernetes, then you can move on to Helm for the packaging application that you have been just deployed. Once you are also comfortable with the Helm, then you can go for the Argo CD for the GitOps. And one thing I miss just is the networking part. Like, you should have a good understanding of basic networking. What is IP, what are CID and rotations, what are VPC, etc. And at the last comes the cloud. For the cloud, you can pick any. Like, you can pick AWS. That I would recommend to everyone. Just the variables, or you can say the machine's name changes and nothing else. The concept remains same. Like in AWS, you have the EC2, and the on Google you have the uh, compute engines. So just the name differentiation and the things are working same. And And then come the AI part. You should have a good understanding of how to use AI and what day-to-day tools are evolving in your modern technologies, because DevOps is all about adaptability. You should have a learning mindset anytime. You should not consider yourself that you have learned this thing, so you are a pro. No. In DevOps, there are multiple scenarios you have been encountered that you haven't seen that. So you should have a continuous learning mindset, which is very important in DevOps. So you should have that also, and try to update with the technologies that are continuously evolving. So, for that, you can read articles, you can read fellow DevOps engineer on LinkedIn. You can join live events like this. So, developers are sharing these kind of scenarios. So, this is a very good practice for you guys. So, learn from the someone who is already working on the industry. So this is kind of practices that I followed in my junior year also. So I just listened to the people, I watched their 1 to 2 hours their long conversation, like how they approach the problem, how they solve the problem. So I try to learn from them. So just be curious, just be a learning mindset, and that's it. You will be a very good DevOps engineer one day.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah. So a lot of gems them. Yeah, you're just steadily dropping gems, right? What you should learn. I liked how you same way Python or Go. They are very valuable for DevOps, for automation and scripting. Um, and then after that, we should also learn how to integrate with platforms like Slack and other cloud services. You recommended Go as a very strong option. Somebody sent a message. Okay. Especially because a lot of cloud native and Kubernetes tools are built with it. So we I think we were also saying something around not necessarily being an expert software
Yeah,
engineer, and also you mentioned that we need to understand Kubernetes fundamentals like the pods, deployment, stateful sets, daemon sets, um,
yeah,
how containers speak with each other, the images, environment variables. You have to understand everything, right? Networking within Kubernetes. Oh, yeah, and also you mentioned that when you're comfortable deploying and you're able to then manage applications manually, then you can now explore package management and deployment tools like Elm, right? So with Elm, you then move on to Argo CD, which is the GitOps part of things, which then becomes easier when you already understand it, right? Right, and all of that. So another thing that you clearly mentioned is not to forget networking, IP addresses. So this is not only. I hope we are getting context into like the full overview into how DevOps is. So DevOps is not just CI/CD. DevOps is not just security. DevOps is not just networking. Like we have a broad overview of a lot of things because you actually need to understand a lot of things for you to be able to provide value. So yeah, it's also really important that we understand all of that. Then you mentioned learn one cloud platform. Um, Concepts in those platforms like virtual machines, storage, the managed Kubernetes services that they have, VPCs and the likes, and maybe Lambda, serverless, and all of that. So be try to be adaptable. You have to be able to stretch.
usually.
DevOps is a mindset. They say it is a culture, right? So you need to constantly learn. You have to always look out for new technologies that is going to make your work easier, and in turn our main goal is to make the process, the cycle easier and more seamless, even if that means us doing more research to make it even more easy. So it's really important that we are continually learning. Okay, so I think I've taken just to wrap this up, please, I would like you to ask one more question. um I would love you to share why community, mentorship, feedback, and learning alongside matters in a DevOps journey. Like for me, for example, I understand the value of community in my own journey. So I would like to hear from you what your thoughts are about that.
Okay, so I would also recommend everyone that if I talk about myself, I have been also part of Cloud Native Karachi community. I have been a founding member of this community. So I do recommend all the fellow DevOps engineer to join the communities that have the liking mindset, like which is giving you knowledge sharing, the knowledge sharing experience, giving you something that you don't have. So the give your time to the communities which is providing you the good conversation, giving you good exposure, giving you good experience. So you should have to join communities. So uh, be a good leader, be a good student. Like participate in conversation, share your ideas, engage with the fellow members, communities. So you also have get the good knowledge of multiple tools, their experience, their opinion. So it will help in your career also. So it will be a good suggestion for all.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah. So, like you said, community is really important, and like I also mentioned, I also have so much that I'm learning from with the community that I'm currently building. So, if you can fit yourself in one, please try to. I mean, Beyond the Bootcamp is one you can join. I'll probably send a link for you to join. I think we have just one more question from Hope, and she's asking that which do you recommend learning? Go and Python, or learning one of them? I know you
Okay.
mentioned that during the call, but if you want to speak more about it.
Okay, so you can pick any language. So you can start with the Python if you are just learning a language. So you can start with the Python, and then once you have the good understanding what are variables, loops, function. If you have a good understanding, then you can move on to the Go if you need it. So first try to solve some problems on Python. For that you can use lead code or any kind of problems that you are gonna face. Try to automate some kind of thing, like sending an automated email to your colleague or your friend. So try some of that automation with Python. And then if you think that the your organization or some your have a good time of learning Go, then go for it. So start with the Python.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you so much for that answer. Oh my God, we are almost at the end of this, and then we have another question. Let's see if we can take that one more question. So yeah, and if yeah, this very much applies to you. How do we create visibility for ourselves to future recruiters on LinkedIn to show how we have debugged problems or show our learning progress?
Okay, so for that, suppose the today you have solved one problem or completed a one simple Linux task, or you learn get basics or get advanced things. So what you have to do is just document what you have learned. uh, Try to explain with the chat gpt or AI model. Give them a context that you have learned this thing from the that platform, or if you have read some one articles, give credit them also because you have learned something from them, and try to give the AI model context. And if you are a very good speaker or writer, then try to be write at your own. Then you have the good conversation or LinkedIn post. So give AI that the I want pride share my experience of learning that specific tool to the recruiters or to the LinkedIn audience. So create a draft post for that. So it will create a very good post for you, so you can also post on LinkedIn. There are some tips that I want to give you for the LinkedIn's recruiter is that try to share your journey with the colleagues or the recruiters, even if you don't get reactions or don't get comments, because at the initial you don't get much reaction. So you just have to start and documenting the process. So this will help you a lot.
All right, all right, all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me clearly?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right, all right. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna wrap up here. So thank you so much, Mohammed, for sharing your experience, your honesty, your like going like deep and being very practical with us today. I really truly appreciate for your presence here and for honoring our call, and it's we really truly appreciate you being here. And thank you so much for to everybody that has been able to join and contribute even in the comments. Please remember, being in between does not mean that you are failing or you are behind. It really just means that you need clearer direction, practical experience and consistent action. Like Muhammad has said, always practice. You're always hands on, always hands on. And I'd like to reiterate again, if you would like to join the Beyond the Bootcamp community or learn more about the mentorship, paid mentorship, the Devil's Path mentorship, you could also comment beyond or send me a direct message with the word mentorship so that I know that you're from here. Anyway, so and then I just really appreciate you. Keep learning, keep building, keep asking questions, and we'll see you around. See you in the community. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so